Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Duncan White NBA podcast. It is currently 12:16 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day. It is November 22nd of 2018, and I have decided to do a podcast episode today, and I'm going to be releasing it Thursday morning on Thanksgiving. The reason why I'm doing that is because on Thanksgiving there's no basketball games on, so I decided that it's best just to kind of do an episode. Really, like I wanted to say Wednesday night, it's really Thursday morning, but then releasing it Thursday morning, let's say like around 9 or 10 a.m. I could have waited until to do this on Friday and then release it on Saturday, like I said I would. Usually I want to release this on the weekends, but because it is a holiday week, I kind of want to just, and there's a lot of headlines going on right now, I kind of want to do this episode now and release it on Thanksgiving. And so come Friday, my episode's already out there for the week, and I'll probably be making another episode, like another YouTube video for the weekend. So on that note, make sure you go subscribe to my YouTube channel, TheSlamDuncan. This will be on my YouTube channel. You can go watch and listen to this podcast. You can also listen to this podcast via podcast.com, iTunes, and Google Play. Once I get that all set up, I said I'll have this. I sent out on Twitter I would have it set up on Tuesday, but that did not happen. I'm still kind of working it out. So I should have this on podcasts.com and Google Play this week at some point. I'm still working it out with iTunes, but podcast.com and Google Play should be working by this week, so you can listen to this podcast on there. Also, go follow my Twitter at Duncan_White14. I tweet out a decent amount of stuff. Especially tonight, I tweeted out a lot about the Bulls game, Cavs game, and the Oklahoma City game that I just finished watching. So in this episode, though, I kind of want to hit some of the headlines that I thought are important to talk about. The Warriors drama is still kind of going on. I thought it would have been dead by now, but Warriors have lost 3 straight, so it's kind of interesting. But more Warriors drama. I also want to talk about how the Lakers almost lost to the Cavaliers today, and the Cavs would have had a better chance of staying in the game if the officials didn't mess up a shot clock issue, which I'll get to in a minute. Jimmy Butler and the 76ers are looking pretty good right now. The Celtics are really struggling, and I'll recap some of the other games that I tuned in to Wednesday night, and also my usual Bulls segment. So I kind of want to start with the Warriors and Oklahoma City because that's just what's freshest on my mind right now. I just finished watching the game. So the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Warriors by, I believe, 28 points tonight in the Oracle. And Warriors did not have Steph Curry or Draymond Green, so obviously those 2 key players. Steph is looking good for MVP. But the Oklahoma City Thunder came out and just destroyed the Warriors. Not at the beginning, I would say, because obviously Durant and Thompson can keep you in a game, but the Thunder are playing fantastic basketball. This is the second game back for Russell Westbrook, coming back from that ankle injury. But now the Thunder, in their last 13 games, they are 11-2. That's the best in the NBA during that time period. And I said in my previous episode that I think the Thunder are right now the second best team in the West. When you obviously behind Golden State, but you're just looking at how the West is right now. I know Portland's at the top, but then it's also then the Grizzlies and then the Clippers, which I did not have either in the playoffs. But I mean, they're playing good right now, but overall, when you think about it, and how teams are playing right now. For example, the Rockets are struggling, so I'm not I've put the Rockets lower, and Portland's also at the top, but they just lost by 40 to the Bucks tonight. And that I'm not like doing assessing this over one game, but I still don't trust Portland because the fact that if either Lillard or McCollum has a bad game, they struggle and they're probably gonna lose that game. So that's the reason why I can't have Portland at the top, and then obviously I don't want to hear the Lakers. Don't give me that. The Nuggets have all of a sudden started to struggle a little bit because they don't play enough defense, in my opinion. So, but if you're just looking at overall consistency, overall game, the Thunder have not the 3-point shooting, but they make enough threes, even though they'll probably be like last in the NBA. They have Westbrook and George who can get their shot at any time. They have a top 3 defense with George leading the league in steals, Adams covering the paint, and all their wings and even guards are very athletic and can switch on pick and roll. They can guard basically anybody in the perimeter. I think Oklahoma City at this moment right now, now with Westbrook back obviously, and even when they get Roberson back, they're going to be the second best team in the West. I know it's kind of a little bit too far, I guess, to put it out, but like if you really kind of think about it, there is no really other, like, I mean, you can argue other teams, but there's no real set in stone second best team. We all thought it was going to be the Rockets, but then after that, who would you have like at number 3? I had Oklahoma City in the top 3 in the West, mostly second or third, obviously, not over the Warriors come playoffs. But I just thought with their depth now, with Schroeder come off your bench, you have Nerlens Noel off your bench, you move Patrick Patterson to the bench. The Thunder have so much depth, and their starting lineup is so solid that they can run. They can defend. They're going to hit shots with Westbrook and George, and they're going to play harder than you every single game. And I think that showed tonight against the Warriors, who, yes, they don't have Steph or Draymond, but I was a little bit shocked by that Durant didn't try to take over the game. Like, Durant is, top 3 player in the league, and I thought he'd take over the game, but he just didn't do that. I think he's being a little bit too passive right now. So I don't want to talk about OKC the entire time during this segment, but the Warriors, with their drama that's still going on, I was kind of thinking about it today, with the whole Durant and Draymond Green feud that was going on, and obviously Draymond calling out Durant, calling him a lot of bad stuff. But I was kind of thinking about it, and when I think about teams that kind of had problems, like they're kind of imploding, and even some of the great teams, I was just kind of thinking of just the LA Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, and how they were so dominant from 2000 to 2004. But in 2004, though, they lost to the Detroit Pistons in the NBA Finals, and it just was like, because the fact that they had so many issues in their team, Shaq and Kobe, it was like who's the guy in LA, obviously, and then that year also they brought in a bunch of other guys like Karl Malone and Gary Payton, so it's just kind of hard year overall. But like if you think about it, it was just like they were so dominant. That duo of Kobe and Shaq was just so dominant, but they didn't win. And then once they didn't win, it was trade Shaq, and then that entire thing was over. And the Lakers didn't get back to the finals until 2008, was just with Kobe running the team. So I was just kind of thinking about it, and like, what if this is how it is for the Warriors? I know it's like that as of right now. I think it's gonna be fine. I still think the Warriors are winning the championship this year. But if this does get worse, and soon like the big four starts, really all of them start turning on each other, Steph can just randomly be like, I don't think Steph will do this. I don't think Steph's this type of person, but like Steph Curry could be like, this is my team. I don't have to listen to you guys. You have to listen to me. This is my show, because it is his team. Klay Thompson, they could start looking at Klay Thompson being skeptical. Like, are you leaving us this year? Like, I mean, Durant could leave us, but are you leaving us? I don't think that's gonna happen, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. And how the Kobe Shaq Lakers, their all inner issues was, messed them all up. They lost the championship, then they broke it up. I don't hope this happens, but I'm just saying that it could happen. That this Warriors team this year could just not win the championship because of all their drama that's going inside their locker room. And I don't think that's good. And I hope once Steph gets back, like, all this just kind of goes away for the Warriors. However, even though I am not a big fan of the Warriors ever since they became the super team, but I don't ever want to see a team have so many inner drama that's ruining their play. But I was just kind of thinking about that. My thoughts on this Durant and Draymond drama still, I just think in general it's going to help them. They're going to become closer. But recent reports have been kind of saying, like, maybe Durant, because he has not responded to any sort of criticism very well. That what Draymond said to him maybe could have hurt him and hurt his relationship with Draymond. And, hurting a relationship, obviously, it takes time to rebuild that. So I don't know if Durant and Draymond are back to, good terms. I mean, they seem like it, but like, maybe it had more effect than we thought. But let's also remember, though, that DeMarcus Cousins is on the Warriors team. I think people keep forgetting that, and once he comes back, it's an all-star starting lineup, and everything. I think everything's gonna be fine. So let's not forget that DeMarcus Cousins is there, and even thinking like, oh, DeMarcus Cousins, oh, that's not good. Like, he's just gonna bring more drama. I don't think he's gonna be bringing more drama. I mean, I don't see it. I just think a lot of these headlines are just a little too much right now, and we're almost creating headlines. So I think we just all need to kind of stop, and everything's fine. So Warriors, though, without Curry, it's obviously showing that it's having a big effect, especially on Klay Thompson, who just really can't get it going without Curry there to just pass it to him. And I again, like, once as Curry is out for like these next few games, and possibly also Draymond, like, I'm telling you, Durant has to start taking over games, and I'm shocked that he hasn't. And it's kind of also sparking the question: can Durant even have his own team? Can he win without another MVP next to him? And I know there's all this talk about Durant going to the Knicks or maybe to LA or maybe Philly during the offseason. Like, I don't want to get into that right now, but I'm just saying that when we talk about Durant and his legacy, like, this is his time right now. This is his Warriors team with Steph Curry out. He needs to show that he can lead this team to victories, and I'm not seeing that right now. And it's kind of concerning to me because, when we talk about Durant, when we talk about the greatest players of all time, and especially the greatest small forwards of all time, there's always going to be that little asterisk right there by Durant's name. And it's going to kind of hurt him also if we talk about the fact that, not only did he go to a 73-9 team, he also then, when Curry was out, he also couldn't lead the team to victories. The only reason why he won was because of Steph Curry. Like, I don't want to hear that narrative. But if he doesn't start showing up in these games and the Warriors keep losing, that narrative is going to start happening again. And it's going to be worse. Like, saying that he can't carry teams to victories. He always needs another MVP next to him to win. So I guess this is like my call out to Durant. Like, right now, you better start getting it together. Start taking over the games. You're the guy right now in the Warriors. You can't just be losing games, especially in the Western Conference. Like, this could, I'm not saying it's going to determine a series for them, but I'm just saying, like, this could, in home court advantage, this could lead them to playing another game they probably don't want to play. I mean, it may not even matter in the end, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, an injury can happen in a game or something like that. But, maybe instead you're the 3 seed because if you lost 3 straight now, or maybe potentially 4 straight, or maybe even 5 straight if Curry's not back. Like, all these wins in the West, all these losses in the Western Conference, they matter. So it's important to, even though Steph's out, you have to win games to keep your record up there. And this could come back to bite you come playoff time, and you may only be the 3 seed, and you may have to play an extra game to a team that was like maybe the 1 seed. But I think I'm thinking a little bit too far ahead. But my point is just he needs to start taking over games, start being the guy, stop being so passive. He had a lot of turnovers tonight, and part of it was on the Thunder defense, which is spectacular, like I said. But he also needs to stop being passive and be the guy and just take the shots. Even if they're tough, take the shots because he can make them. And I'm just looking at my Twitter, sorry, but some of the other stuff that happened during the Thunder game was Terrence Ferguson got injured, his ankle. That didn't look too good. It wasn't, extreme. It was just unfortunate to see. It looked like just a sprain. And Nerlens Noel got hit in the face, but he, got back on the court. But then the big one was Hamidou Diallo took a hit in the fourth quarter, and that did not look very good. He had to be carried out on the stretcher. I don't think he broke anything. I'm looking at right now at Royce Young's tweet. It says it was a severe lower body injury. He's going to be further evaluated tomorrow in OKC. So it's unfortunate for OKC because Hamidou Diallo has been playing so well. I thought he's been a steal from the second round, and he just fits in so well with that system. Athletic guard, can defend, kind of shoot the 3, but mostly just give him that hustle play, the grit, the grind, and any athleticism. So it's unfortunate that that happened, but so far, I don't think he broke anything or tore anything. I saw the play happen live, and I saw one replay, but it was kind of blocked, so I don't really want to look at it again, though, so I don't want to see if he actually did break anything or tear anything. So just prayers up for the best for Diallo and also Ferguson, which I haven't really heard much on, but it's unfortunate for the Thunder. Moving on, though, I do want to talk about Lakers and Cavs. So the Lakers and the Cavs played in Cleveland today. LeBron's first game back in the Lakers uniform in Cleveland. I did not watch much of that game. I'll be honest with that. I watched mostly the Bulls game that happened. I'll get to the Bulls game later. But my biggest takeaway from the Lakers and Cavs game was the fact that it was a close game. And the Cavs are arguably the worst team in the league. So all this talk that the Lakers are the second best team or the best team in the NBA, I don't want to hear it anymore because they almost lost to a Cleveland Cavaliers team who don't have Kevin Love. So let's all stop with the Lakers right now. I know it's early and I don't want to, people say stop basing your opinion off one game. Let's just all be real here. The Lakers are not the best team in the NBA, and they're not the second best team in the NBA. They should not even be in the conversation for that. All right? Imagine if the Cavs won that game, I don't know how LA would respond, but it probably wouldn't be good. This is, I know the Lakers have had good wins, but all these teams have been blowing out the Cavs except for the Hornets. All the NBA teams have been blowing out the Cavs, but then the Lakers with LeBron had struggles, and they were down in the fourth quarter. Luckily, with some help by the officials at the last 30 seconds, they were able to get the win. I I'm just saying, like the Lakers. We need to stop about the Lakers. Stop about the Lakers this year. Let's wait till next year and see what happens during the offseason. Maybe they get another star, and then we'll start talking about the Lakers. Let's just all chill out, though, about the Lakers for right now. And I'm not trying to be a hater, but I'm just trying to be real that the Lakers are not winning a championship this year. Let's talk about them next year. All right? With the Cavs, though, it was good. I thought, because obviously LeBron is back and everything, they kind of want revenge maybe a little bit, some of the players. I'm kind of shocked that J.R. Smith decided to leave the team the game before LeBron returned, because I thought maybe he would try to redeem himself. But Cavs, though, Cedi Osman, I've been very surprised with how he's been playing this year. I am very surprised how he's played, and he's looking good. I'm shocked he didn't get more minutes last year. Tristan Thompson has shown me that maybe the Cavs pull off some trading Tristan Thompson to a contender, and he can play a really solid role. His IQ, man, it's really good. Colin Sexton looked pretty decent, and Jordan Clarkson off the bench is also looking really good. So. At least some bright notes for the Cavs. It's been probably, it's been already a tough year. They've already been saying they've been tanking. I hope that doesn't continue, to be honest, because I can't stand it when any teams start tanking, and I hate it when the Bulls did it last year. I mean, it's only November, late November. If you're gonna think about tanking, can you think about during March? Let's not think about it this early in the season. So, it just drives me insane to hear that they're tanking, and I think it is true what J.R. Smith has said, that they're tanking. They're putting in guys that probably shouldn't be playing on that team. It's just unfortunate, but in my opinion, I think they just need to worry about developing Colin Sexton, Cedi Osman, Larry Nance Jr., and then kind of you have a lot of. Once all this, Tristan Thompson comes off, J.R. Smith comes off the books, you're going to have more flexibility. But however, they did give Kevin Love that contract. So it is a tough situation. And I see why they'd be tanking, but it kind of just it's too early to think about right now. But it is kind of tough though if you're Cleveland, because the fact that you don't have a lot of flexibility, and you're probably looking at one of the three Duke prospects, which I'll be talking. I also forgot to mention this. I will be talking about that game versus Gonzaga today. That was a great game to watch. So I do want to talk. Before I move on, I do want to talk about that the officials messed up at the end of the Lakers and Cavs game. LeBron took a shot, and the ball went out of bounds off Tristan Thompson, so it's still Lakers ball with 22.9 seconds left to go. But with the new NBA rule this year that any rebound or offensive rebound or just possession goes back to the offensive team, the shot clock resets to 14 seconds, not 24. That did not happen for some odd reason. For some odd reason, the shot clock reset to 24 seconds, a.k.a. there was no shot clock, and the Cavs were first then to foul the Lakers because they were down by 2, and there was no shot clock going. So, I mean, it didn't decide the outcome of the game, but it was still a big play because if the shot clock reset to 14, which it should have, the Cavs then had a chance to get the stop and stop the Lakers from scoring, and then go on the other end, potentially tie the game. Instead, though, LeBron got a free throw out of it, so it's a 3-point game. So the Cavs still had a chance, but then you're kind of forced to take the 3 at the other end, and it puts you in a tougher situation. So I'm very upset about that, though. I was just shocked when that shot clock didn't go back to 14. And I'm not gonna be the one that says officials helping the LeBron as usual, which I kind of do say that, but I mean, it kind of just drives me insane when stuff like that's so obvious doesn't get addressed, And, who knows if one of the Cavs coaches said something to the officials or not. And I know it was also in Cleveland, but it was just like, are you serious right now? Like, come on. You need to get that. And I hope the NBA says something about it, that they did mess up. I don't like it when the NBA just kind of says, we're not responsible for this. Let's just move on. This never happened. Like, I want the NBA to take responsibility for this. Maybe it'll come in the last 2-minute report or something like that. So, moving on though, I do want to make this episode a little bit shorter. I didn't realize last time how long my first episode was. It was an hour. I'm going to try and make it a little bit shorter. So, I do want to say 76ers and Jimmy Butler are looking pretty good. I've been pleasantly surprised with how well Jimmy has fit right in. And, he's not been really the main guy. Sometimes Ben Simmons has more points than him. But what I've been surprised about is how well Jimmy is taking that, being kind of third guy, but affecting the game in other ways. He gets his offense mainly through the post, which I'm kind of shocked by. But you could just see the effect that he has at the end of games when, late game situation, he can take the shot, which he obviously did against the Hornets. And obviously he's guarding the best offensive player for the opposing team on the perimeter. And just really his leadership out there is just so big for even guys like Embiid and Simmons, who they're still learning how to perform in those big situations. I did realize this, though, with the 76ers, which I didn't really kind of think about it, but Wilson Chandler is now in the starting lineup, and I didn't really know if that was going to happen or not. I thought maybe Fultz would be in the starting lineup, but what the 76ers are doing very well is their ability to, when on defense, they switch everything on the perimeter 1 through 4. So Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, Jimmy Butler, and Wilson Chandler, they all switch everything on the perimeter, and then you leave Embiid in the paint to, obviously just protect the paint. And what it's doing, though, is that, and you saw it against the Pelicans today, it's really affecting the guards' ability to get penetration into the paint, and it's that it's doing such a good job. And teams have issues trying to not only get into the paint, but force the ball into the paint. And I really like the 76ers doing that, because it forces the entire opposing team up. So even if you have a post-up option, that post-up player has to come out to maybe 16, 18 feet, and then they're not as effective out there as they are maybe 10 feet or right in the paint. So it's doing a good job of getting the opposing team out of their offense and out of their offensive rhythm. And then, like I said before, the effect that Jimmy Butler has is when Joel Embiid goes off the floor, and Brett Brown has been playing Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons together, and so far it's been working out pretty well. I was kind of shocked by that, but basically Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons, they come out of the game and go back in the game at the same time, and it's working really well. But it has the 76ers now have another shot creator and playmaker with Jimmy Butler, and they have it in the half court specifically, and not just solely rely on Ben Simmons, getting a rebound and pushing up the floor, fast break, layup, or dunk off Ben Simmons. So Jimmy Butler is looking good, and if the 76ers keep this up, I think, it's tough for me, because now the Celtics are really struggling, but the Raptors just look so good right now that I can't say the 76ers are going to win the East, but I will say they do have a chance this year. But I'm really thinking the next year, once Jimmy Butler has a training camp to go through, the 76ers have cap space, and they can get more players and add more depth to their team and more shooting. Then they're going to be a legitimate threat to win the championship. I think it's going to be next year, not this year. But they could still go on a very deep playoff run, Eastern Conference Finals, potentially NBA Finals, but which is good. Don't get me wrong, that's good, considering what happened last year. But I can't say it's going to be NBA championship this year though. But I am very excited to watch the 76ers for the next few years because really just like Joel Embiid is just a force of nature in the NBA right now, and no other team has a Joel Embiid. Not even the Pelicans with Anthony Davis. Like Joel Embiid is a legit post-up option, and I hope he brings the big man back into the NBA. And I enjoy watching him work out of the post and still be able to hit threes, hit mid-range shots, cross people over, but also be, post-up option, doing the Hakeem Olajuwon moves and just watching him dominate in there and also protect the rim and don't allow anybody to come inside the paint for the 76ers. So 76ers looking really good. And I'm not going to really talk about the Timberwolves on that side of the trade. Celtics, they're kind of struggling. I'm a little bit concerned now. I said in my last episode that I wasn't really concerned. Now I'm a little bit concerned. Not going to lie. They beat the Toronto Raptors in OT, which was a fantastic game, but Kyrie Irving basically saved the Celtics that game. Went off for 47 points. But if I'm the Celtics right now, and Brad Stevens even came out and said it, he doesn't think that they're really that good. That may just be his way of trying to create a spark for the team. But man, like the Celtics really need to start figuring it out right now because I think age has kind of messed up Al Horford a little bit this year. He doesn't just look as quick or just as attentive to the ball all the time, especially on defense. Kyrie Irving is just like, I think Kyrie's like basically their only offense right now. I thought Jason Tatum, especially earlier in the season, like I thought he could be the second option until Gordon Hayward becomes 100% and he comes back to All-Star form, which, obviously he's not going to be that until maybe January. But it's just Jason Tatum just all of a sudden isn't as consistent, and he's almost playing worse than his rookie season. I'm just like, wow, okay. And Jaylen Brown, like I think they need to feature Jaylen Brown more. He's more just that guy that stands in the corner right now, and it's almost hard for Brad Stevens to even have him on the floor because the fact that they just don't really have him, like they just kind of see him as like nobody on offense, and then but you want his defense out there because he can guard 1 through 4 and guard the opposing team's best perimeter player. So you want him out there, especially alongside Kyrie. But if you don't feature him in the offense, and like you don't want him out there, you may want either Terry Rozier, so you have another ball handler, or Marcus Smart, so you get more defense, or even Marcus Morris Sr., so you get more shooting. So it's just kind of rough. Or you put in Aaron Baines alongside Al Horford to get bigger and get more rebounds. So it's really tough right now because I'm watching Celtics games and they just lost to the Knicks tonight. It's like, man, you need to start featuring, Kyrie's just basically saving them, but you need to start featuring Jaylen Brown more in the offense and start getting Tatum back to his usual spots where he was so effective. And Al Horford, man, like, as much as I love Al Horford, I think age is really starting to get to him, and I didn't think that would happen this year. He just seems kind of slow right now, and maybe it's just because it's early season. But I'm not counting the Celtics out or anything like that. I still think they can just easily turn it around. And maybe something will happen like this next week or so that will spark the team to start playing much better. But I'm just a little bit concerned at the moment. As of right now, who do I have winning the East? I have to say the Raptors because they're just playing so great. And now I do believe that the 76ers are a legit threat to the Celtics because not only did they already have Embiid, who the Celtics cannot guard Embiid. Like, I don't see anybody that can guard Embiid. But putting Jimmy Butler there, like, now Jimmy can guard Kyrie Irving. Ben Simmons can guard Gordon Hayward, or they flip. And also the Celtics are so perimeter oriented that because the 76ers switch 1 through 4, and it's like you're not giving up any size or strength when you switch 1 through 4 because they're basically the same players and they're all athletic and play good defense, like that's gonna be an issue for the Celtics because the Celtics then can't get in the lane, then they can't kick it out for 3-point shots. So I am a bit concerned because like they can't guard Embiid, and the 76ers defense is going to probably shut them down because the fact they can just switch everything and not give the Celtics any wide open 3-point shots. But we have to see them face off before I can really confirm anything like that. What else do I want to talk about? So I guess we'll move on to my Bulls segment. Actually, before that, I do want to talk about the Duke and Gonzaga game. So I watched the entire Duke and Gonzaga game, and that was a fantastic game. I know this is an NBA podcast, but this, NBA, Duke, college basketball, obviously relates to the NBA. Sorry. So Duke and Gonzaga, it was for the championship title for the Maui tournament, and obviously we're looking at Duke's 3 players in Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and Cameron Reddish, and then also Trey Jones. Gonzaga, though, they're ranked number 3, and they really shocked me. I was really shocked to see them. It was more, though, for me, it was kind of surprising to see that the Duke's big 3, like, kind of, I wouldn't say they all struggled. Cameron Reddish did not have a good game. But Williamson and Barrett, they had struggles in the first half. They really came out in the second half, but then they just struggled just to close out the game. But I do but their athleticism is it's off the charts. Williamson had a fantastic offensive rebound and dunk, and then RJ Barrett in transition, he had a dunk. I don't think this lowers, draft stock or anything like that, but it's just, it just kind of, brought them back down to earth, and it showed them like they're young, they're still learning, but they just have so much talent and so much potential. It was good to see that game, and just saying, I know I know Cam Reddish did struggle today, but if the Bulls somehow can steal him and have him play that small forward spot, man, that would be perfect because he's shooting 40% from 3-point range and good free throw shooter, but he makes the right basketball play. He's not searching for a shot. He's better off the ball, which the Bulls need, and he's athletic, good defender, makes the good cuts and hard cuts with intent. And that's what the Bulls need right now at that small forward position. Imagine Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, your ball handlers, and Zach LaVine, your main guy, having RJ Barrett there in the corner or wing to shoot that 3 and also guard the opposing team's best perimeter player, and then having Laurie at the 4, Wendell Carter Jr. at the 5. All athletic, all could shoot the 3. That would look pretty solid for the Bulls. But that's me being a Bulls fan. I don't think Cam Reddish is going to be there when it comes to our pick, which unless more injuries happen. But me as a Bulls fan, I do not want to tank for Cam Reddish. I don't want to do that. I don't think that's a good idea. And you're probably wondering why not get Zion or RJ Barrett. My issue with getting either of those two is that they need the ball, and right now we already have 3 main guys who kind of need the ball. Obviously, Zach, Chris Dunn needs the ball to be effective, but I think he can play alongside Zach. But then Lauri Markkanen needs his touches. Adding another guy who's so ball dominant like Zion Williamson or RJ Barrett, I don't really think that's a good idea. Because there needs to be a pecking order for any team to be good. Even with the Warriors right now, you just know it's Steph at 1 and Durant at 2, and Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They don't always need the ball to be effective. That's the reason why they work so well. With the Bulls, it's all right, Zach, then Larry are your main scorers, and then Chris Dunn can be effective off ball with his defense. And then his ability to post up smaller guards and cut. And he's gotten better at being a spot up shooter. And then, Wendell doesn't need the ball to be effective. Because, his defense and his ability to set good screens, be a good roller, lob it to him, like that's what you need. But adding another ball dominant guy, I don't think that's a good idea for the Bulls. Because then Zach needs the ball, and then Lauri's probably gonna be like the forgotten man, and I don't want that to happen because Lauri is gonna be very important to feature in your offense. So I guess this is now the segue to my Bulls segment. Bulls won against Phoenix Suns today. I was very happy with the win. Stacey King kind of mentioned it during the game that the Bulls had good balanced scoring. Zach LaVine led the way with 29 points. He closed it out for the Bulls. I am a bit concerned, though, because if you watch that game, there was no defense being played by either team, thankfully. If any team really started playing defense, they would have blown out the other team, but that did not happen. Zach LaVine kind of took over in the fourth and kind of put the game away. The Suns have kind of come back, which I was a little bit concerned, but the Bulls won in the end. I was very impressed by DeAndre Ayton. I haven't been able to watch a lot of him, but I was very impressed by him. As of right now, I don't want right now him and Trae Young in my Rookie of the Year list, they're tied at number 2, because Doncic is number 1, and then him and Trae Young are right there, and I have them tied. I had Aiden at 3, but he's putting himself at in 2, at number 2 along with Trae Young. So I'm just gonna have him as tied for right now. And that was kind of not fair for me to say, but it's really hard for me to choose. But DeAndre Ayton played very well, and I don't want to say that he took Wendell Carter Jr. out of the game because of foul trouble, but he showed that he could score on Wendell a little bit, which I was kind of shocked by. Unfortunately, though, Wendell did not play a lot of minutes because some bogus foul calls on him. So I was kind of sad to not see those two go at it. I thought Wendell could also really take Ayton on the other side of the floor because Ayton doesn't play that good of defense. I thought Wendell could exploit that, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. The Bulls, though, did have multiple scores in double digits. LaVine, Parker, and then Holiday. Ryan Arcidiacono is playing so well this year, and I hope it continues. Antonio Blakeney came off the bench and gave a good spark. Hopefully he can do that every single game, stay consistent. I do want to talk about Arcidiacono, though, and thank goodness the Bulls have him, because with Chris Dunn out, man, I know we have Shaquille Harrison, but imagine Cameron Payne still having to play, though. Oh my gosh. Cameron Payne, I know he did get some minutes against the Suns today, but it was just it's hard for me to watch the Bulls when Cameron Payne's running the offense. But Arcidiacono, he just gives that hustle, that good defense, and he's shooting very well from 3-point range, and he knows how to run an offense and be the point guard. His assist to turnover ratio is the best in the league right now, and he's just been a great find for the Bulls. I don't know. I always think when I see him out there, I always think of Kirk Hinrich. I know he's not Kirk Hinrich because Kirk Hinrich was so effective because of the fact that he can play the 1 or the 2. So when Derrick Rose came out of the game, you could put Kirk Hinrich in to still run the offense very well. But you could also play him with Derrick Rose in the game, move Kirk Hinrich to the 2, and Hinrich is very effective off the ball because he can shoot the 3, come off down screens, but also still be a ball handler at that time. So, but the one thing Hinrich also did give was good defense. He could guard either guard position, and he was always just a solid player. With Arcidiacono, I always kind of just see Kirk Hinrich. I don't know why. It's Hinrich was a good 3-point shooter, and Arcidiacono's been hitting threes all season, and just his hustle and grit. You saw Arcidiacono jump into the second row, hustling for a ball, And like I love seeing that type of hustle because the Bulls kind of don't do that a lot. So um, good to see Arcidiacono playing very well, running the offense, and being effective out there on the court alongside Zach. And he's allowing Zach to be the guy and handle the ball most of the time. So it's good to see. I do want to like Shaq Harrison also at the point guard spot has done very well, and I think he's like his defense is just it's good to see his on ball defense. He's able to strip guys like Devin Booker like half court, and we get something out of it. I'm interested to see though when Chris Dunn gets back, like who's going to be the backup point guard. I still think Chris Dunn's going to be the main guy. Starting point guard. I don't expect Arcidiacono to start over him. So I would like Arcidiacono to be the backup. I don't want Cameron Payne to come back into the rotation. Sorry, Cameron, but I hope Arcidiacono is able to be the backup point guard when Chris Dunn gets back. I am also interested in when Larry and Portis get back. Unfortunately, Denzel Valentine won't be returning this season because he's having surgery on his ankle. But when Larry and Portis get back, I'm interested to see because they both play power forward. So I'm interested to see what Fred Hoiberg does with this rotation. Do you move Jabari Parker to the 3 and start him there? Which I don't think it's a good idea. And when Portis comes off the bench, does he play at the 5 or does he play at the 4? In my opinion, when I think about it, I want Fred Hoiberg to run a 9-man rotation. He usually runs a 10, but with so many injuries right now, I think he's only running. I think today he only ran 8, but like mainly 8. He played like I think 10 players today, but with so many guys injured, I think he's been running 9, which I like. Which I hope that continues when everybody gets back. But last year and at the start of this year, he was running 10 guys, and it's hard for me to watch that because at some point in the basketball game, it's all bench guys, and it's just not enough play for the Bulls to stay in the game, and they would usually lose the game when that happens. So like my idea for like the rotation for Hoiberg once everybody gets healthy, you have Dunn, Levine, and I'm gonna say start Holiday at the 3, so you have shooting and defense there with Holiday, and he can also be the off ball wing, Markkanen and then Wendell Carter Jr. starting. Off the bench though, I want Ryan Arcidiacono, Antonio Blakeney, Chandler Hutchison. And then this is where it kind of gets iffy. Like, I had to say Jabari. Actually, now I think about it, either Hutchison or Blakeney can't play basically because I'm gonna say Jabari still has to play. So you have to take either Hutchison or Blakeney away from that. So it's gonna be kind of a tough decision because I like both of them, but then Portis should be the main big man off the bench and the only big man off the bench, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to see Lopez or Felicio play, especially Felicio, when Portis gets back. Because what I think Fred can do is that he can kind of run like a 3-man rotation with the bigs. So when Portis comes in, he may take Wendell Carter Jr. out, but then Wendell will come back in and get Lowry, later, and you always have Portis play with one of those two guys, and then he'll come out at the end of the second quarter or end of fourth quarter. I guess now that I just kind of talked it out, I guess Hoiberg could run a 10-man, and have Parker be the main backup 4, and he can have Arcidiacono, Blakeney, Hutchison, Parker, and Portis. But just part of me is just I don't like seeing Hoiberg run that type of rotation because I always think it's important to have either Zach or Larry to be on the court at all times. you see that with the 76ers, like they have either Embiid or it's now Simmons and Butler on the court at all times. Embiid usually comes out early, and then he'll come back in at the late first quarter, play into the second quarter, come back out early second quarter, and then come back in mid second quarter, and then same thing for the second half. I think it's important for Hoiberg to do something like that with either Laurie or Zach, and always have at least Levine or Markkanen out on the court at all times to have a consistent guy to go to on the offensive end. So Laurie should be back hopefully in a week or so. So I'm very excited to see Markkanen play alongside Zach LaVine, and especially Wendell Carter Jr. I think both Markkanen and Carter Jr., they complement each other very well, and I'm very interested to see how they play together. And I think it's going to work out very well. And I'm very excited, and hopefully both start winning some more games once that happens. So, all right. So, on that note, I've gone 50 minutes, unfortunately, so not a little shorter, but I want it to be shorter than that. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Duncan White NBA podcast. Like I said before, you can listen to this on podcasts.com and Google Play hopefully this week, and then iTunes eventually. You can also listen and watch the podcast at my YouTube channel, TheSlamDuncan. Also, make sure you go follow me on Twitter at Duncan_White14. I just kind of thought about, I didn't do a question of the day or anything like that. Actually, for the question of the day, which if you're going to respond to me, put in QOTD. My question, I guess, is where do you put, actually, let's put it this way. Who are your Eastern Conference playoff teams? Go 1 through 8. Just give me a list of your Eastern Conference playoff teams are. And go ahead and at me, put QOTD, and just go ahead and list your playoff teams. So my Twitter handler is at Duncan_White14. Make sure you go follow me there. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. This is Duncan White signing off for now.